Jetzt muss ich anmoderieren, ich hasse das wie die Pest. Das macht immer Nicolo. Hast du Platz? Ja, gut. Welcome back to a new video brought to you by the Spadone project. Here's Julian, Marvin.
My name is Marvin.
I'm Michael.
Und Cyril Hamm. Today we are in?
We are at the Badisches State Museum, or the Badisches Landesmuseum in Karlsruhe in southwest Germany.
Yes, and we have some very interesting pieces here on the table that, I think you also should introduce them, at least these two.
Yes. We got two practice swords, or Fechtschwertern in the German HEMA community, so-called. And I got a hint from Michael, our conservator for metal objects. And he said, well, I think we got two practice swords in our collections. And I looked it up in our inventory, and yeah, there were two fencing blades, but because of the hint, we were able to identify them as practice swords, which they are a pair, and in the historical inventory they are also always mentioned as a pair of fencing blades or practice swords. So I think it's quite obvious that they were bought and probably also forged together as a pair.
Yeah, especially these two, because there are a lot of similarities that we might be able to show maybe. For the one that you just held up, we saw that the shield seems to be shortened.
Yes.
What's very nice here, if you want to show again or if I show again, they have an engraving, which we know from other fencing swords, like in America in the Met. They also have the Diefstädter ones with engravings. Here, though, we have a fencer.
Yes.
This fencer is like half drawn, his legs are missing. And now, if you show the other one, there is the full body. And what we also noticed is, if you look at the crossguard from the front, which you can't see at the moment, we see that the opening is different for these two. And as the shield here widens again, it seems like that this was originally longer and was shortened a bit. In total, we have 4 figurines on the shield on both sides, each one with a long sword,
one with a dagger, and on the other side there are two Dusak fencers. And I think they are quite unique because you mentioned the ones in the Met or other ones, but the other practice swords have ornamental engravings, and here we have 4 figurines showing fencing poses and weapons.
And also from the style, I would say we are at the end of the 16th century. Mm-hmm. From the clothing, as far as we can tell, which in general fits well if you look at the fencing manuscripts and so on in that area. We see the same like in the other fencing swords. They are wider after the shield, mm-hmm. Thicker, better said, not wider. And they get wider towards the point, to the tip, where they are extremely thin to make the bloom on the head, as far as we can tell. We also brought you the replica from Zurich, just to show how they differ. So I'll hold this up again. These are all replicas made by Cyril that we fence with. And what we noticed is it's shorter in the blade, like the ones in Zurich, but the handle is longer. While here the blades are longer, the handles are shorter, which is also true for the third Feder in Zurich, the other one in Calgary in Canada. They feel a bit different to the ones in Zurich that we also noticed, like the point of balance is a bit wider out. They have a good feel though, like I like how they handle. Weight-wise, they are basically all 3 the same. These are 1440 grams, and this is also 1450 or something, if I remember.
Yeah, 1450.
Yeah, something like that. So really cool and interesting, and thank you that I was involved in looking at them.
You're welcome.
I don't know if you want to give a future glimpse.
Yeah, well, so because these Karlsruhe fencing blades, practice swords, were never scientifically published, we're going to join forces and write an article about practice swords and Fechtfedern, and going to publish this one, yeah, in the next months. We will see how it goes, and we're going to show and present these ones, the Karlsruhe ones, the Zurich ones, with a lot of details, and I think also the Solothurn
Yes.
fencing blade. But we're also going to list all of the known fencing blades, Fechtfedern, worldwide. So I think that's gonna be the first list of these weapon type on a scientific level of publishing, and I think we're gonna make some unknown weapons more known. Yes.
Yeah, and hopefully, from my perspective, and maybe Sirius as well, as we are HEMA practitioners, we hope that these find their way more into the HEMA community, back to the roots. The swords that they used to fence with. So maybe Cyril at one point makes another replica. Yeah. Is there something that you want to point out or you noticed that might be interesting, or except that you found them originally?
Yeah, when I was back here 20 years ago, I was visiting the old magazine, which was back then in the castle, and looked with our curator of medieval objects this time, and just went through some drawers on the big lockers, and yeah, there they were in pretty much pristine condition. And this time I was very much into 15th, 16th century fencing and military and martial arts. I just looked at them and hey, look what we have here. Just read about them yesterday, and I was not aware that these are so rare these days. So this was quite a found, and I'm happy to be joined now with some guys who share this passion for those old rare types of weapons.
Definitely. Is there something that you have? No, you measured greatly. What's also interesting, we could measure the flex. That is very important for future replicas, or to understand how they really behave, how they are made. We have that for Zurich, we have that for these, so we can really get some more data that will probably help. Yeah, I think that's it. So thank you again for the opportunity, and look for the future, what will come. Thank you and goodbye.
Goodbye.